Welcome to Thursday, the second day of December 2021. Blowtorch weather, we're calling it. The whole United States, the lower 48 states, will just be warm. Much warmer than average for all of December. Really, the entire nation, coast to coast, and parts of southern Canada, as December warmth will continue for another full day. A cooling trend is coming, and we're moving it up a day. There's a change in the forecast. And this is what we warned you about in a podcast last week, is that when we get into the time of year when we change seasons and the weather's about ready to flip, you're going to have some model variability and forecasts could change. That's why we warn folks on those 10-day forecasts on your phones, be really careful with them. We have a cold front that is going to be arriving Saturday night and Sunday, a full day ahead of schedule. This colder air is a kind of a sneaky little push coming on in. We have a stronger front. This will be the bigger weather maker Monday night and Tuesday. Another storm late next week and another system maybe moving through next weekend. This gives us really high confidence, and our confidence is quite high, that the mountains are going to get some really good snow all across all of the Rockies. The northern, the central, and even the southern Rockies are going to see snow over the next week or two, the type of snow that's going to make a difference. So for you skiers and you snowmobilers who have been waiting patiently, and some of you, because I've heard from you, impatiently, you're going to have some good news here in the coming weeks. Also, we're going to talk about Comet Leonard. This, for some reason, is not being reported on very well. This is going to be a good show. It's already showing up well in the night skies. And as we get into the next 2 or 3 weeks, if you have a decent digital camera, decent telescope, you're going to be able to see Comet Leonard pretty easily. And we'll talk more about Leonard in future podcasts. Now we are going to go through a bunch of slides. Got a bunch more great pictures in from you folks. These sunrises, these sunsets, and these lenticular clouds. I mean, we might as well show these pretty pictures because we haven't had much weather to talk about. But just incredible shots coming in from all around the region. These high clouds that you get in these mild windy patterns, putting on just spectacular sunrises and sunsets. I know from looking out my window this morning, it was another beautiful sunrise in southeastern Wyoming and really across the entire state and region. So keep those cameras handy. Great shot here out of the Lander area. Again, that's the bottom of a lenticular cloud and that sun. And with the low sun angle, that's another thing. The low sun angle we have in the morning and in the evenings, with the days getting shorter and the nights getting longer, you get a sun angle that really gets a lot of color in those clouds. And then here is another shot from our favorite photographer, Dave Bell in Pinedale. Look at this shot of those lenticulars over the Wind Rivers. We showed you a shot like this earlier, but every time we get these lenticular clouds, you put them on top of the Wind River Mountains there, and you're going to have a great situation. So thanks, everyone, for sending those photos. Now, here's Comet Leonard. Here's a shot that I grabbed off of spaceweather.com. This was taken here recently, and this is going to be a bright comet. The magnitude is going to increase where it could be visible by the naked eye by the middle part of December. So we'll talk about more about Leonard as we go forward. Now here we go with the weather now. West-east flow, just bringing that blowtorch weather across the United States, coast to coast, with the exception of the northern Great Lakes there in New England. It is just going to be a very, very warm day. And this is why this is the graphic we showed you yesterday of that warm air just getting driven from the Pacific into the United States, locking up that Arctic air. And these are the temperature anomalies for this afternoon. So from the east slopes of the Canadian Rockies all the way to northeast Mexico, from the west coast to the east coast, look at all that orange. Then you see all that green and purple of the real severe cold that's locked up in the northern latitudes. So we continue to be in phase 1 of La Nina, but we're about ready to go into a phase change 2 heading into next week and in the following weeks. As we see, this is the temperature anomaly by Sunday afternoon. So when I talked about a sneaky cold front, here it is. You can see that it goes up against the divide. So for you folks on Colorado's western slope into Utah, back in the Great Basin, the west coast areas, the cold air isn't deep enough to get over the mountains. But look at the cold, the blue here, by Sunday afternoon getting all the way down to the Palmer Divide. So what's going to end up happening is Sunday is going to be a lot colder than current forecasts portray, at least the forecast you heard yesterday for Sunday, as that colder air is going to sneak in. And this pocket of colder air up here is what's going to come in with the front Monday night and Tuesday. This is for Sunday morning. Winds aloft are coming in from the northwest, driving in that colder air. You can see all the blue and the gray colors, severe cold up there. So we just get a little bit of a taste of it. Then as we get on into the middle of next week, we're going to see these fronts come in and out. Here are the temperature anomalies, a little bit of a closer look for Sunday afternoon. Now as we go and take a look at the precipitation, there's also a little bit of moisture with this system. So we're going to see some snow developing up here along the U.S.-Canadian border, up into the Pacific Northwest, but also look into the Tetons, Yellowstone Park, the Bighorns, northeastern Wyoming along I-90, and even close to Cheyenne, there could be some light snow or flurries developing in that colder air that comes in on Sunday. What will happen on Monday is that cold air will retreat a little bit as we wait for that next wave to come in from the northwest. This is what the snowfall looks like through Sunday afternoon. So this is a bit of a departure from what we showed you yesterday. By Monday night and Tuesday, there's a bigger push of colder air and moisture coming in. There's another little wave here. There's another little wave here. And what's going to happen is the jet stream now is going to come in from the northwest for several days next week. And that is for Thursday. We got another trough. Here's another one coming. And this is for next Friday into Saturday. Another wave. Now, what these waves will do is bring shots of snow to the mountains, colder weather on the plains, but we're not going to get locked into Arctic air yet. So there's going to be some ups and downs with temperatures next week, but the downs will be a bit more extreme than they've been lately, and we're not going to have big warm-ups. But there is going to be some up and down with temperature because these are going to be fairly quick-moving systems, but they're going to be potent snowmakers in the mountains. This is through next Saturday. Look at the snow in the high country. It really comes back all across the west. And that's great news because these are the latest snowpack conditions as of yesterday. Here's the snowpack conditions in Wyoming. I don't know why the Tongue River drainage is not reporting. I think they've got some problems with snowpack sensors up there. But you can see snowpacks are all below average. Only the Wind River snowpack at 94% of average is anywhere decent. Colorado isn't much better. So we need some snow in the high country, as we all know, but it's coming. Thanks for listening and watching to the Day Weather Podcast. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.